Hello everybody and welcome to episode 3 of the Southron Bannermen, the new podcast from the south coast of England. I'm your host for today, Ryan Wood. Today I'm joined by regular host Ben Davey.
Hello.
And a guest host, Gabbi Trimmings.
Hi there.
So Gabbi, do you want to introduce yourself?
I haven't really thought through what I'm going to say at this point. Second Ed is the only LCG I've actually ever played, so I'm pretty new to the whole experience. I got into playing through Joe, and I tend to refuse to play popular decks because I find that boring, so I always do terrible at tournaments.
Oh, I can understand that logic. I hate myself every time I use my Lannister deck.
Yeah, I've just got more into it.
I've seen you win.
Yeah, you got the last Portsmouth tournament. You on the you got to the top final game of Ryan.
Yeah, and then Ryan crushed me.
Well, Ryan crushes everyone, so you know.
Now, I've gotten a lot better, but I've also gotten a lot less stubborn with what I play, so there might be a connection there.
Quite likely. Stubbornness can get in the way of a good deck.
Yeah, I would not let the Red Viper go for a very long time.
No, you got to keep the Red Viper. He's amazing.
I do want to put him back in. I love him so much.
Don't listen to Ryan. The Red Viper is amazing. He's a free of in every Martell deck.
Yeah. It's Joe's fault. He's the one who told me not to bother with him.
Don't listen to Ben.
The Red Viper single-handedly won me a store champ. It might only have been 5 players, but still.
Yeah. He helped with mine, actually. 6 players.
Yeah, see?
So, there we go.
That's, I got one. I've used him one tournament and I won the tournament, so he's a good card by default, 100% accurate.
Can't argue with those statistics.
Okay, I'm gonna put Brandon's gift in my next deck. If I win a tournament with it, it's an amazing card by default. By Ben's
no, Ryan, that's my job to do, as we'll discuss later. That's my pain to carry.
That is true. That's true.
So I guess we should quickly cover what we're actually going to talk about in this episode.
Probably
Sure.
good idea.
I'll take that if you want. So we're going to have a little bit of kind of what's in the news. There's this little thing called Gen Con. Apparently some stuff kind of got announced there. Maybe. I don't know. Me and Ryan went to a quick games night kit, which we'll have a quick chat about. And then the reason we brought Gabbi on is because she's done a very interesting article on binder fodder.
Yeah, binder fodder.
And not making it binder fodder. So we're going to talk about the experiences of that and making Renly the best card in the game.
He'll get there, somehow.
He's the new Tywin, I've heard.
Maybe the new Renly, but not that one.
No, definitely. Both of them. They're both great.
I found him a lot better than I thought I would. I think he's alright.
Well, he's basically only slightly worse than, was it Jen
I think he makes Joe sad, at least.
Yes. I guess quickly, should we hit the news? Because there's been quite a lot since the last podcast.
Yeah, it's been a busy weekend all round, I think.
Well, even before that, because there's a new LCG that got announced, which looks pretty cool.
Yeah, Arkham Horror, another co-op game. I'm a big fan of the Lord of the Rings co-op game, so looking forward to another one.
I've never played Lord of the Rings, but always been interested. But quite nice to get into one from the start, I think.
Yeah, that's one of the big things I think for LCGs. Getting it from the start does help, for sure, especially financially. I watched the demo they did on, I was at Team Covenant, and it looked really good. I felt, even my wife said she might play it.
Yeah, I watched that video as well, yeah.
Yeah, it looks exactly what you want. So something completely different, not competitive, but still kind of got that fun, collectible kind of element to it. Well, not collecting, not collectible, collecting element.
I mean, it's an established universe with the board games. I've played a lot of them. They're all a lot of fun. Get that spooky gothic atmosphere out there.
The good thing with the co-op ones as well is you don't have to buy all the cards. Like, I always look at it as like a game. You buy expansions or a new level pack. You can just go and buy a random chapter pack and get a new quest to play in Lord of the Rings, and it's going to be similar with Arkham.
The other one I quite liked was, from the sounds of it, you don't need 3 core sets. You need 2 if you want to play 4-player.
I think they confirmed on Twitter it was only 2 you needed.
Yeah, so that makes it a bit financially a bit easier to get into. And from what I was reading, if you only want to play 2-player, you only need 1 core set, so that's pretty cool. Other new, what's the other Thrones? Obviously, Thrones news other than the ridiculous number of Thrones board games that have been announced. The draft packs played at Gen Con for the first time yesterday, I want to say, as we record.
Yesterday, I believe.
Today?
It's when the spoilers came out. I don't know.
Yeah, and had pretty much, had about...
I think they're playing today.
Oh, playing today.
But they brought the packs yesterday, because yesterday was the melee, right?
I did see Keb from the UK came second in the melee, so well done to her.
Well done.
Yeah.
I think Whammer made the cut as well, didn't he?
Yeah, but he dropped out for the draft, I think.
Okay.
Keb actually came top 8. She came second in her top 16 table.
Oh, okay.
And then made it in top 8.
Okay.
Cool.
Her post on Facebook, she later edited to correct that. You still did very well, Keb. Hold on.
Okay. But we've had about 30 cards spoilt from the rest of the cycle.
Yeah, I woke up this morning for 86 messages from our little group chat with you guys going over them, so that was fun.
The wonders that it is getting up at about 6:30 every morning with children. You have a lot of time to chat. But yeah, so I thought we're not going to go into all of them because we're going to kind of cover them as actually they come out. And if anyone wants to kind of look at them, they're all over Facebook or Reddit. But we're going to pick one card each. Just chat about quickly. Ryan, do you want to go first? Which card are you most looking forward to / dreading?
So out of the ones that were for the draft, Edmure Tully, I think.
Oh, he looks good.
He's so good. So he's a 5-cost, 4-strength, military and power, Stark, Knight Tully, and has the response, after a character would claim power, move it to a House Tully character once per phase. So obviously this is amazing with Blackfish. Stack him up straight away. But the really sneaky bit is it works when your opponent claims renown. So the first renown they get every round, you're stealing.
Yeah, that is beautiful.
Works quite good with new Catelyn as well, getting her strength up.
Yeah, I think River Run Tully decks are going to become better and better now.
Yeah.
So I've been testing it. It's not quite there yet, but a character like that's really going to help it.
Yeah, he seems all right. He seems pretty damn good. Just stopping one renowned a turn, that is massive. Yeah,
he's a reprint of a card from first edition. It was a Martell card back then. I think it was Ilaria Sand.
Okay.
Cool. So she had the same sort of ability. I think it was after you lost a challenge, she stole the power from an opponent's character.
Okay. Well, I guess you have to lose a challenge to be able to steal their renowned anyway, so same basic thing. Gabby, any card that jumped out at you?
I'm trying to pick one. I've got them all in front of me right now, and I'm struggling. I love the look of the new Stannis, just because I think he's a big improvement on the original. So he's a 7 gold, 6 strength, military and power, the traits King and Lord, and during power challenges, each participating non-king character gets -1 strength, and reaction, after you win dominance, choose a non-loyal character. That character cannot stand during the standing phase. I just think controlled, keeping a character knelt as opposed to keeping everything knelt and screwing yourself is just a much better card in general.
Yeah, no, I can see that. Is there any rule you can't have 2 kings in the same deck or not? So could you have him and Bob?
No, I don't think it's a rule.
You can have both of them.
So yeah, so that still helps Bob and this sort of semi-control rather than full control. But as you say, Gabby, yeah, sometimes Stannis does end up screwing yourself over as much as the opponent.
I love the flavor text on it as well.
What's the thing?
A king has no friends.
No, I think that's just Stannis.
Yeah, I think if you put Lightbringer on him as well, just use him for power challenges, stand him back up, it will help you towards dominance. So you should be able to actually pull off his reaction. In theory, at least.
Well, obviously, I'd say for myself, I've actually gone for a Martell card because you've got Sir Oakheart, just because there's that kind of assassin-y character who everyone might be thinking looks pretty good. And for 2 gold, when Sir Oakheart comes into play, he discards the character, which seems pretty nice. And otherwise, he's a 4-cost military power icon, strength 3. No attachments to get weapons, Kingsguard and Knight. But Yeah, that seems pretty nice. Just any ally, but just discard them from play. Varys as well. I think Varys is an ally, isn't he?
I'm not sure on that one.
The good design of that card is that he's still quite low cost. So it's 4 cost, and then the discard effect is extra gold. So they could have designed him so that he was 6 gold and always trigger that effect. But this is a much nicer design. So if you don't need to trigger it, then you can just pay 4 gold for him.
And obviously, as you pointed out in our little chat, Ryan, you can use him with Ariane to get him in. So you're getting towards the end of the phase. You realise that Varys going to go off or whatever, or as what's his face, Jagadar does his challenge, Jagadar, whatever. I can never pronounce the guy's name. You go fine. That's the one. I just jump this. Okay, challenge action. Jump this guy in and discard him from play.
So I hate to burst your bubble, but I've just checked, and Varys is not an ally. He's small council and spy. So those shenanigans can continue.
But there's quite a few key ally cards, which
and I think they're growing more and more of them. So he's going to be great.
There's quite a few in the ones that have been spoiled so far.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
the 7 cost Jack and Nagar will be the best one to get rid of.
Oh yes, oh yeah, he's pretty good.
The only other thing I'd say is all the draft only cards look amazing, and I'm really upset the plots are going to be draft only because I think they're all brilliant.
Oh yeah, the Pale Mare is really good.
Yeah, I think as people have been saying, it's probably going to be better than Valor.
Is that the one where you have to toast up the cost or strength for your characters?
Yeah, so it's Omen. When revealed, each player chooses any number of characters he or she controls with a total printed cost of 10 or lower. Kill each character not chosen.
Yes, that's pretty good.
In the case of things like Lanny Dragon, you're not keeping Tywin and Miri out, basically. And Gregor. They can go.
The one thing I kind of like from these spoilers is it does seem like the characters are far more interesting and have a lot more... Probably seem a bit harder to use than what we've had from the first cycle.
It's made me very excited going forward because I think everyone's finding the game's gotten a bit stale, but I think there's a lot coming that's going to make it much more interesting. I hope.
Oh well, yeah. As I just kind of hope, as again Ryan was chatting the other day, saying that I like to get to the point where I don't know 90% of my opponent's deck before we start.
Yeah.
By the end of this cycle, I think we could be there.
It's definitely a step in the right direction.
The one thing I would say from this, though, is this is the feeling I get. It does seem like Fantasy Flight is giving a lot more priority to draft than Melee now.
Potentially.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I just hope the draft packs come out quite soon into actual stores.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a bit daft to have them made up and then not get them in shops ASAP. But with all the draft-only stuff and the... That does seem like, they could have easily whacked something together, put nothing extra in except for stuff this cycle. But the fact they've actually made their own cards for draft seems like it's got slightly higher priority to me. And they made I won't say a massive deal out of it, but they made quite a big deal out of it compared to anything they've done for Melee for Gen Con.
In First Ed, were there Melee only cards, or was that never a thing? I wasn't sure.
So there were cards that were better in Melee. So they had text boxes where it'd be like, if you have more than one opponent, and then the rest of the text box.
I mean, we have a little bit of that interaction now, so like you have Calling the Banners, which says, pick an opponent. But yeah, generally speaking, bar 1 or 2 cards, we don't really have that at the moment, do we?
It's a shame. I love Melee. I never get much chance to play it, but I think it's because I'm slightly better at it. I love it.
Yeah, it's a shame that FFG have sort of dropped it, really. Especially in Europe, it's a big part of the game why people love it. It's not as popular in America, but especially over here, like in France and Spain and stuff, it's a really love for that.
Yeah, I'm signed up to do it in Stalic, and I'm really excited to actually do it.
Yeah, it's something I want to play more of. I've not really done enough of it, but it just seems like a way of looking at your cards from a different angle, getting more out of what the cards you bought, which to me
gives Tyrell a chance. Tyrella's so good in Melee compared to Joust.
Gives Night's Watch less of a chance, though. Stopping unopposed challenge from 2 or 3 characters could be quite hard.
Oh, you'd be amazed. Joe's managed it in Melee. He always somehow sneaks past.
One other bit I kind of want to hit on, which is kind of from Netrunner, is I picked up the World Champ decks packs this week. which are surprisingly limited for some bizarre reason. Apparently FFG didn't think people would want to buy them. But I really hope they do them for Worlds for this year, for AGOT as well. Because getting the full bleed art is really nice. They've done a really good job on them. I don't think there's anything you guys have seen.
I don't really play much Netrunner, so I've not really looked into them, but I know people buy them just sometimes for the cards they need.
Well,
more copies.
You've got the so like they've got the Jon Snow that's available at Gen Con, and it's based like that, but for the entire deck. So they take the World Champs deck and they literally put them in a box. They then did in a pack. They did then immediately make them all illegal because they did a restricted list, and it nerfed both decks. But hey. But the idea of it, I think, is really nice, and it'd be really cool to get. I think if they did it with Game of Thrones this year, get the World Champ deck and just do these full bleed art cards. I'd buy them just for the, they're based just like the old arts, but with the current art, so you got that whole effect. I think they just look really nice, far nicer actually than the actual cards.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good idea.
They just waited from last year because there wasn't enough cards at that point. Like last year, they started doing this for Netrunner, but Thrones had been out a month when they did that, so there was no point doing the world's deck from last year.
But they only did it for Netrunner.
At this point, there's enough cards, so it might be nice to do it.
But so they only did it for Netrunner, where they could have also done it for Conquest or Star Wars as well, because they have big enough couple.
But for Conquest and Star Wars, they don't quite get that much love.
No. Looking at the national sales, the tickets for nationals next weekend, Star Wars has not done well.
It's on 20 last time I checked.
Yeah. Out of 100.
2 days allotted to it. So.
Yep. Whereas we get 1 day with Thrones. Yay.
Yes. So if Thrones was on a Friday, it would have screwed everyone. So can't complain too much, I suppose.
Anything else want to hit on news-wise, or are we going to hit on to Binder Fudder?
Well, we should probably at least mention what one.
Fine. Go on then. What one?
I don't actually know.
Lannister Dragon.
Yeah. Lanny Dragon.
Ah, that was a guess.
Yeah, well done. Chris Schoenthal, I think his name is, won with Lanny Dragon against Seth Lowe from DC in the final, who was playing Martel Wolf.
Oh, okay.
So, poor old Seth, he's made the top table quite a lot of big tournaments recently and hasn't managed to push through. So last year he made the final table at the Joust, the Melee, and the Draft. So he's a fantastic player.
That's pretty impressive. Rob from Rob's Gaming Room was planning on recording it, but I don't think he was able to record the final, was he?
No, for some reason, I think Seth requested that they could record it, but only for him and Chris's personal use.
That's a shame.
So yeah, it's unlikely that the final will be posted to YouTube or anything. But I think Rob managed to get a game from every other round, so...
Well, yeah.
Are you guys going to mention your tournament as well?
Oh, yeah, we did talk about it in the beginning, didn't we? I guess we probably should. So we went to Entoyment in Poole to play what was meant to be a summer kit, at which point the organiser decided to make it a winter kit and save the summer kit for another tournament. After advertising a summer kit. Which
that was bizarre, really.
Yeah, oh well.
I was looking forward to getting some new prizes, really.
Yeah, same here.
Did they have the kit with them then, all ready to go?
Yep.
Just changed their mind?
Yeah, they said that there wasn't enough in. They didn't come with everything, but having chatted to them afterwards, it's because they didn't realise it wasn't coming with mats or deck boxes anymore.
Oh, right. Oh dear.
I decided to go after a night shift, so I'd gone on absolutely no sleep, which was fun. Trying out...
Excuses.
Whoa. Oh, come on, the way I played in that final. So I took Lanny Dragon, and the first game was against a guy who'd only played about 5 games, and I felt a bit sorry for him. He was playing Baratheon, so I wasn't going to let him off because he only played 5 games, because I hate Baratheon. But then he did use the phrase... How many cards do I get to draw at the beginning of the game again? I was like, oh, okay. I'm going to be vaguely nicer. He did say he was winning for the first 2 turns, and then Lanny Kraken does what Lanny Kraken does, and I won. Trying to think, the second game I played Kev, who came with Ryan from Southampton, and that was pretty much I got the nuts set up and killed everything. And then I played Lanny Dragon. Right, very similar to the deck Ryan was using. And thanks to Treachery on Miri, I then and then a Iron Mines, I took that one down. Ryan, I might as well let you chat because then we come together.
Yeah. So I was playing. Yeah. So I was playing Tyrell Lion. Something I've been messing around with for a few weeks. Heavy reset version of the deck, running Wildfire, First Snow, and Triple Varus. It's good fun. Quite hard to play. A lot of moving parts. First match was against a bog standard Stark Fealty, which I don't think he was expecting the Varus, and put a lot of big guys down early on and was unable to recover after the first one. Second game was against a Tyrell Fealty player, who at the end of turn 2 had a board with quite a few guys, including a duped Randall and a duped Queen of Thorns. I played Varus, playing a wipe on the board and then marching one of the others. And this shows you how new these players were. When I triggered Varus, he did not save any of his characters. He thought you couldn't save from Varus, which I pointed out to him after, but I wasn't going to do it during the game, which is a shame to him, because then he couldn't really recover at all with an empty board. Facing down, I think it was a duped Mountain and a duped Night Flowers at that point. And then next game was against Martell Rose deck that just kept trying to control my renowned characters with the icon attachments, but I just had too many renowned characters pretty much, and Mountain, Jamie, and Night Flowers all out. I just couldn't control all of them. And then the final was against Ben.
Yeah.
Which I had like the worst setup I've ever had with that deck, which was the Tigger and a Rosary Patrol, I think.
You had a pretty horrendous setup. It was one of those setups where I went, I think my setup's okay, and then I saw your setup and I was like, no, mine's bloody good. But yeah, and I thought about it afterwards, and I did make some really dumbass plays, unfortunately. But at the same time, I don't think it would have made a difference when I thought about it, because unless I didn't find a Treachery or Nightmares, so I wouldn't have been able to stop your Varus anyway.
Yeah, I think I triggered 2 Varuses, right?
You did.
Twice?
And I think you had the third one in hand.
It was a long old game. It went to plot 13 or 14 or something.
It was ridiculous, yeah. We did play a lot. But, yeah, unfortunately, I was really digging to try and find those key cards, or try and find dupes, and I didn't see anything until it was a bit too late. But, where it happens. And I did make some bonehead plays, like, for instance, I decided to let your Jamie go unopposed on the military, because of course he would kneel, then I get to kill him as he was your only character. And on my military back. But of course I didn't, because he doesn't kneel for military. And then you put to the sword type Tyrion. I was... The day had been long, and I was not thinking straight by that point. But as I said, I don't think, looking back on it, I wouldn't have made a difference, because I didn't see the cards, I didn't see Treachery or thingy to stop Varus, so you're always going to get Varus off.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Ryan should have won all the spangly new summer stuff, but instead won a playmat. I assume you already have.
Yeah, I gave all my prizes to the people below.
But bar the plot,
third winter kit I won.
Bar the plot, you kept hold of the plot.
Bar the plot, yeah. I wanted a third copy of the plot.
Yeah, but no, it was good. I mean, I learned a bit about my deck. We chatted about my deck for Nationals afterwards, and I made a few more tweaks since then, and it's been going really well in Octagon. Should point out, I'm through to the top 32 in the Octagon League. Oh yeah.
Congrats.
It does help that I've only played 6 games of the 10 I'm meant to play, because people keep dropping out. Yeah. That's the only reason I know them through already. Anything else you want to hit on before we go on to Renly being the greatest card ever printed?
No. I don't think there's anything else.
Oh, actually, I guess, Gabbi, what have you been up to in Frames recently, as me and Ryan have chatted a bit?
Not much, really. I mean, there's been no tournaments going on. It's just been practicing my terrible decks and trying to work on a deck for Nationals. I'm down to 2 at the minute, and they're both on the exact same score, so I can't really decide.
Cool.
But they both keep beating Joe, so it's been fun.
So
yeah, it's been a bit boring over here.
Cool. So you're not tempted by your Renly deck for Nationals?
Oddly enough, no. I might play it in Melee, but otherwise, no. Not a chance.
Oh, but you seem so convinced he was good.
He's all right for what he does.
Well, you're not selling on this next section, but okay then. So, Gabbi, you're so you've done the first post in it? What's going to be a series of getting cards out the binder?
Yeah, it's just literally it came about when I was flicking through the binder, building a deck, and going, oh, I forgot this card. He was even printed. Have we ever touched it? And finding quite a few cards like that, thinking, well, I've got to get some use out of them. So it's not making the most amazing decks in the game. It's just trying to figure out if they've got any use or not at all. By pushing them to the extremes.
I think it's fair because I mean, obviously, there's been less binder fodder at this stage of the game because obviously there's a smaller card pool. So even if a card's not amazing, there's normally a role for it in most decks. Obviously, there has been a few, and you have hit on the few. Obviously, as we go on, this is going to become something which will probably be a much bigger topic. Yeah,
it's never going to end, is it?
No. I think there's only going to be more as we get those decks going.
Well, I'm sticking to one per house for now. We'll see how it goes after that.
Should be a once a year thing, surely. Every year, go back and check the house again.
Yeah, probably something like that. Yeah.
So, what's your experiences with Renly, and how did you get him to work?
So, Renly, on paper, he's not a terrible card. He's a Tricon. Obviously, he only really works in banner decks or false house decks. So, of course, I made a loyal Baratheon deck with him to be awkward, which did not work. Spoiler alert. But, yeah, it's more using them more than you ever would. So he's obviously a one-off kind of card. But to try and actually get some play out of him, I had to put 3 of him in. I had some stupid self-imposed rules that he had to be picked from summons. He had to be put into play if I could afford him. And he had to not be picked for military claim unless it was unavoidable. So it was fun. Yeah, in a Tyrell deck, with their economy, you can get a lot out on the board with just that extra boost. And he actually balanced out the pleasure barges quite nicely. So I was never sad to see him then.
So, Ryan, obviously you've had a lot more use of Tyrell than I have, as I can't get them to work since First Snow was a thing.
Would you consider it, Ryan? Would you ever give Renly a tiny bit of love?
Not that Renly, no.
No.
Hopefully the King version we're getting soon will be good. And
I think that was my realisation at the end. Yeah, the realisation at the end was, okay, he works really well with Tyrell. It could be thing, but they're going to get a King Renly, aren't they? So he's going to be useless again.
I was just thinking though, surely taking this further, surely was it Tyrell bannered to the Stag wouldn't be awful, because they could afford their really expensive non-loyal stuff like Selmy would be really good. Yeah, Barristan Selmy would be really good in Tyrell deck.
Yeah, I think it was actually quite a solid deck in general.
They don't struggle for money anyway.
No, but the idea is to make Renly work. So
it was very much, he worked, he wasn't necessary, he was just nice.
Because I guess with Tyrell, you could even be ambushing in the City Watch. Expanding on from the theme.
Yeah, I think Renly's martial only, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, but I just think more the money they have with the banner of the Stag.
But yeah, I mean, it's a card I'd literally never touched before. As soon as it came out, I forgot about it. So it was just a bit of fun that ended up being a 2,000-word article, really.
and of course, the best bit is you made Joe sad with it.
Oh, there was the most beautiful game I had against his deck that he's considering taking to Nationals. It's the classic Greyjoy deck. And he basically thought he'd have won by turn 2, and that did not happen. Because the turn, he had everything set up to play Rise of the Kraken, because he had Euron with a Seal of the Hand and Syrio Farrell, so plan was obvious. and I played House Floor at night, and there were no other weaker characters, so it was farewell Sirio. And it destroyed his entire plan, and I ended up winning it off the back of it.
I just love that
He
Sirio.
still hasn't forgiven me.
I still love the fact that Sirio died to House Flora Knight.
It's one of the best moves I've ever made in Thrones. He was speechless. He didn't know what to do because it was so unexpected.
Now I've been thinking about this a bit more, and I do think surely at the moment, now that Targa's kind of fallen back a little bit, you don't see the numbers, so there's no Dracarys around, well, not as much Dracarys. Surely Renly has a good place now in the meta, or better place at least.
Yeah, well, he did get Dracarys in one of the games I played against someone, because I forgot Dracarys was a thing, as it has kind of died out a bit. So, he's a target, but I don't know. He
I'd be
depends
quite
what you're
happy
running.
if they Dracarys my Renly and not something else.
Yeah, that is one thing I learned as well. If you're playing and you tell someone that you're trying to just learn about one specific card, they will go out of their way to kill it.
Yeah.
Does not matter if it's not the best card on the board. They will just do it to be annoying.
Of course.
So it was nice to have Randall Tarley stay alive from put to the sword instead of
they killed
but
Renly over Tarly. Yeah, okay, that's crazy talk.
some people are just very irritating.
So you've done Renly. What's the next character you want to do?
I'm thinking it's gonna be Targaryen, and I'm gonna go for the Merchant Prince. Cause this one's gonna be much less fun because there's no way I'm gonna make this one work. But I'm gonna give myself a bonus if I can get Vastov Rack in there as
lineage,
well.
right?
Yeah, it's free noble lineage, and then he comes a Tricon.
Yeah.
And just hope your opponent's not playing first snow.
Yeah, but I'm going to throw Vastov Rack in as well, just to be really crazy and see how many attachments I can fit into one deck.
Sure, you got to take the street of the Street of Steel and the other streets that you can find attachments and stuff.
Yeah, it's just going to be an attachment crazy deck basically. It'll be terrible. It's going to be fun. We'll see what happens.
I must admit, I've actually had to look up the Merchant Prince because it's been a while.
Exactly.
Oh, see, he gets +1 strength and a military when he gets the noble lineage.
Yeah, it's
And
not the worst.
and here's the best bit. So I was thinking about this. If you play against Martell and they blank his intrigue icon with the attachment, he gains a military and +1 strength for them doing it.
Yeah. Well, hopefully I can bait a Martell player into doing that. I doubt it, but
Well, this is where. So I've had an idea for this for you, and this is it involves bannering to Stark.
okay.
So you might see where I'm going with this. Arya's gift. So they play their attachment control, and then you gift it over. It's not loyal. And then you gift it over to your Merchant Prince to give him an icon.
Well, I think I found one of my banners then.
See?
Let's see. Yeah, some of the houses have been a struggle to find
moved between
cards
Stark
for. But
characters, I think.
Is it Stark? Okay, so you have to say, if you ward your own Merchant Prince, and ward would also give him a military icon.
this sounds like a lot of work for one little prince, but we'll see. Yeah, and then
Yeah, never listen to Ben's deck building advice. It's always bad.
No, it's always fun. That's the difference, Ryan.
yeah, and then it's just trying to find cards for later on in the series. I will, of course, be going for that ultimate Night's Watch card, Brandon's Gift. I'm quite excited for that one because I think it's not as bad as people are saying. There might be something to it.
Okay.
Maybe.
I'm all with you with the Merchant Prince, but even I might not be see the fun side of Brandon's Gift. Is pretty terrible.
I'm going to make it happen somehow. I have no idea how yet, but oh no, I've read it again. It's terrible, isn't it?
It really is. I think.
Never mind.
I think it's one of those cards which you don't think about it for a while and you go, man, it can't be that bad, can it? And then you go back and read it again and go, yeah, it was that bad, actually, isn't it?
Well, it's going to happen anyway. I'm going to stick to my word. I will do a Brandon's Gift deck and I will test it and cry. as it gets crushed.
Uh,
Yes, I mean, Lannister, I'm actually struggling to pick a
There's only
card.
three builder characters, right?
at the moment, yeah. And I don't think many have been spoilt for the cycle. They're mostly rangers and stewards.
Still
Yeah.
going to make it work.
Lannister, there's one really well. I could give you 2 bad cards you have to play together. Ironically, one of them is the old art for the other one. So you have to have 3 Bronn and 3 of the Crossroads sellswords.
Oh, yeah, of course. I might rope in the London group, the Crossroads, the Cross Keys, to help me out with that one. For they seem quite keen on that one, due to their namesake.
But that is pretty much the only bad card I can think of in the deck. I
love Bronn, but I love playing against him because I just get really lucky and control him the whole game.
Yeah.
Never played him myself, but...
You need to do the pro play of milking your own Bronn.
Yeah.
Surely, by the way, Pyromancers have got to be on your list at some point.
I don't know. They're a card that I suppose needs testing.
I've got to say, I've been rethinking about the Pyromancers, and I have a feeling they're not actually terrible.
I just don't think they're going to see
the problem is
play.
it relies entirely on your opponent right now, because most people are just playing limited economy and no other locations, and it won't do anything.
I have a feeling.
The whole game.
I have a feeling maybe by the end of this cycle, I think it could be a thing to have them. Especially.
But what if you could one day hit like the House of Undying that's just been spoiled, the 6-cost location?
That would be awesome, and that would make
that
would make your opponent cry.
If you play it as Martell and just bounce them in the last second.
They would just trigger it first.
Yeah, but they wouldn't get anything from it because it would be at the end.
Depends when they play it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of other bad cards we could suggest.
Oh, Dagmar from Greyjoy. That was another one I was doing.
He is terrible.
Worst 7-coster?
He's up there. He's slightly better now. Pike exists at least, because at least you can give him stealth, but you're still taking over locations, and it's still why.
It's just not very interesting, his ability. There's not that many locations that I'd want to take. But I'd still going to use him.
Yeah. Again, as Ryan says, a bit like the Pyromancers, it depends which faction you're playing against.
Yeah.
Because, if you're playing against another Greyjoy player, or you're playing against Night's Watch or Tyrell, it's probably going to be really good. And then you play pretty much everyone else, and you just go, eh.
Well, he can't take the Arbor, because it's printed cost 3 or lower.
Oh, God, he's even worse.
He's really bad.
Yeah. And non-limited again, right?
Yeah. God. I hate this series already.
You can take High Garden, at least. I think the biggest problem with him is Euron's a card, and Euron with We Do Not Sow does the job better.
Yeah, and Euron you can get any card. You can limited any cost. This one, Dagmar. But again, he's gonna get a shot. I don't know why I do this to myself, but.
See, I would say I think this is something you need to do, Ryan. But knowing you'll just take these bad cards and then depress people by making really good deck space around them.
So which card are you challenging me to build a good deck with?
Oh, Brandon's Gift is the obvious one, Ryan, because but that seems. I don't think actually anyone could actually make a good deck out of that one.
You guys are more than welcome to take part, though. If you want to try and build rival good decks, I will also include them. We'll see who can build the better terrible deck.
What's that one? I'd say let me just get the name of it, because I do want to make sure I get the Vanguard of the North.
What is that? Can't remember.
That's a fine card.
It's alright. It's not that bad.
I think the problem with
It's not as bad as the other ones.
Stark have the issue of none of their cards I've looked at are bad. It's just they've got so many cards that it's too difficult. I've got so many cards I could do for Stark.
See?
Like Bear Island Loyalist.
Ryan.
Tree.
There we go. Bear Island Loyalist. That's a terrible card.
Yeah, but you can't really build a deck around it, right? Like, you just put 3 of them in the non-unique cards. They don't do anything. It's not like building a deck around Brandon's Gift, where you just got to throw in as many builders as you can and try and trigger it.
Okay, Ryan, how about we go with Wolfswood?
Yeah, that's a fine card. Good card.
What? Just having to take all the direwolves?
I think doing a wolf
They
deck,
start
I'm like,
ambush them in.
yeah.
It's great fun.
I'm thinking Wolves of the North for start, because I actually got excited when that came out and then forgot about it. I'm going to build a giant wolf deck.
I've seen one all-wolf deck in action. The problem is it was just the lack of every other type of icon that really hurt them.
Yeah, it's, again, not going to be much fun, but I'll give it a go.
You've basically got to take the wolf attachments. Just what's the character called? The one that was really popular for one has disappeared. The
Kennel Master.
That's the one.
Yeah.
And just take all the direwolf attachments and take characters of them in, and just say they can move into other challenges.
Yeah, I go into this very much expecting to lose most of the games I'm playing.
I would expect so, taking with the cards you're choosing.
That's the point. Like I say, I did not expect to win against Greyjoy with Renly, and I did. So.
Well, there is actually the argument that this makes you a better player. On a side tangent, there was in one of our Blood Bowl leagues, one of the guys took the worst team, and he was an average player when he started the league. By the end of the league, he was one of the best players because he had to be even be vaguely competitive.
It does make you think a lot more when you're playing. It does almost. It's like exercise for the mind for Thrones. Can I win this in any way at all?
Oh, I love that analogy. I'm going to use it. I'm doing some exercise tonight. Oh, you going to go for a jog? No, I'm going to use Brandon's gift, obviously. Duh. Oh. So.
Yeah, should have be working on another article soon. And we'll see how it goes.
So I think you should go for the ultimate banter play of using your next deck at Nationals.
No.
I think you should. The Merchants and Nationals. You'd get respect.
Not if I came last, which is likely.
Well, because it's not that bad a card. I didn't say Brandon's gift, did I?
No, I think I actually want to do well at Nationals, so we'll put this project aside for a week and then we'll come back to it.
No, that is actually one thing. I'm actually quite looking forward to getting Nationals out of the way so I can start playing with other decks.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the summer kits just so I can mess around and play some more fun things.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to these new cards so I can start doing some new fun things.
Yeah, still waiting for those agendas to come out over here.
Yeah.
I'm going to mess around with those all over.
When is that set? Are we getting that next week or the week after? The new pack?
18th,
okay.
I think was the street date.
So week after Nationals, okay. I know it wouldn't be legal for Nationals anyway, but So, I guess quickly, so we've got a bit of time. Do we want to chat Nationals or do we want to chat stuff we're looking forward to post-Nationals or what?
I don't know. I mean, has everyone actually picked their deck for Nationals, or are we all still testing?
Oh, no, I've picked, basically.
You haven't changed in forever, have you?
Only a month and a half. Right, Ryan, where are you on to?
I'm not sure at the moment.
You still not sure?
Trying to decide between two.
Okay. See, this is where Ryan's going to go for the pro play and not actually mention anything about the two, what he's working on. In case spies are listening.
Well, I'm much less and sneaky, so I'm working on a Stark Fealty and a Martell Lion. And the Martell Lion's doing so well it makes me feel bad because it's so cruel.
It's one of the things. I think if you win with Martell, I know Martell's one of the top houses at the moment, but if you win with them, you've still got to probably use your brain a lot.
It's not an easy deck to play. It's definitely a lot of balancing, but it's very much, I'm not going to marshal anything. Let's see what happens.
It's also one of those decks that there's a good chance if you're winning, your opponent's having absolutely no fun.
Yeah. Again, poor Joe suffers all the worst things as we live together. He was not happy the other day. It was a horrible game. I had the answer to everything, and he just couldn't get a single challenge past, and I just slowly crushed him. It was horrible.
So, Ryan, I assume I know one of the decks you're thinking about. Is you're going to finally take your Tyrell deck to Nationals then?
Yeah, that's one of the possibilities.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was only joking.
No.
Do it. Be the first person to win something major
I
with
enjoy the
Tyrell.
deck. I think it's pretty good.
No, it is really good. I do think...
I'd love to, but I think it's like one card short of being really good. It needs Valor, and then it'd be great.
I think as we were chatting about on Wednesday, I think one of the issues might be, though, that it's one of those decks I could see doing really well up to the cut, and then by the time the cut happens, pretty much everyone knows what you're doing. So they'll just start trying to play around it a bit more, where you won't get people, early, as they will probably early on, playing out all their cards just to get Varus.
Well, no one's going to do that now, because I know what he's going to do.
And you think anyone actually listens to us?
The main problem is, so many people are playing Lannister.
Yeah. And Lannister has the answer. Treachery.
Lannister will always have the answer.
Yeah. Well, they sort of get the answer soon.
In a slightly more complicated way, but they get to stand someone.
Oh, no, actually, no, it won't work against Varus.
No,
it won't work against Varus, will it?
It doesn't target a character.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a shame. Yeah, that is the problem at the moment. You basically got to beat something that beats Lannister, and that could be the one issue your deck has. If they get the right cards, then they're... Oh, but then saying that, Nightmares can be in any deck.
Yeah, it's true. Nightmares and Treachery are the bane of that Varus deck. But
I am just looking forward to actually, getting Nationals out of the way and going back to playing some Martell and Greyjoy.
I think I want to build a Dothraki summer deck. Just for fun.
I've done that.
When it's over.
I've done that. It is good fun. When it works, it really works.
Yeah, it's not perfect. It's not really competitive. But it's so much fun to play around with the Blood Riders.
I don't know. I think it could... I wouldn't say Kings of Summer, but I think there's definitely... I think a Dothraki Summer deck with banners something could actually be quite good.
I was playing Dothraki with Martell, so I was using Sunspear to raise claim and the icon removal, and it was pretty fun.
I played against Joe using that deck, when he used that deck, and it was really annoying.
Good. Yeah, he stole that from me.
You've got to play Tyrell Dragon with Bridge Encampment to get the
Tyrell
8-cost Dothraki out for free.
And probably Miri out for free, I'm guessing, as well?
Yeah, exactly. Get all the high-cost Targ cards out for free. And then
Weren't you the biggest hater of Bitterbridge? Ryan, when it first announced, didn't you hate Bitterbridge and say it was a terrible card?
Hey, I scored it more than the other two, than Ben and Joe.
See, I actually want to change my score because I think I'm actually starting to think it's not horrendous anymore, but it's a card that
you can't change the score.
I'm not going. Oh, I finally won't change the score. But it's definitely a card. I think in the right deck, I think it could be good. Now, having thought about it a bit more, and actually having spent a bit of time with Frames TV making decks with it in.
Yeah, I haven't played with it or played against it, so I'm a bit curious to see how it goes.
I just think the main problem at the moment is we need a few more summer plots.
Yeah, there's definitely a lack of summer plots compared to winter, but they'll get there.
I guess, guys, that's probably about it for today. Is there anything else anyone wants to bring up?
No, I think that's it.
I say what, we're going to be on next, probably in 2 weeks after Nationals, and probably about the time the new chapter pack comes out. I'm going to do a double whammy on that. I think, Gabbi, you probably have to at least come on to tell us how you did at Nationals.
Yeah, I can pop on briefly.
If not, you can probably stay on. You're far nicer than Joe because you haven't cost me a place in the cut yet, a regional or.
We'll see how Nationals goes just before, just in case.
At a regional, Nationals, that's different. Yeah. And then to only finish 9th by after you cost me that spot, At least made the cut. Seriously.
Oh, yeah, he's a terrible person. But he will be back next time.
Guess we'll catch you all in a couple of weeks. And as always, it's been emotional.